Heavenly Father, we are grateful for the love that you have shown each of these graduating seniors and for the opportunities that you have given them to respond to that love and to share that love with others during these past 4 years. This evening we come to you not in a ceremonial prayer, but in a prayer of faith, believing that you are our source and that you are involved in our lives and that you are responding to our needs and that you are directing our paths as we acknowledge you. As we come to such a major stepping stone in the path of these graduating seniors, we give thanks for all of the efforts that have been poured into their lives through their parents, teachers, and through many people of the community who have done so much to encourage them and to enrich their educational environment. We are also grateful for the recognition and the honors that this district has received because of this fine group of students. But we know the real fruit of our labors will be revealed as these young men and women move on to accomplish the goals that you have for them. So, Father, our prayer this evening is this, that you will touch their lives in such a way that will enable them to reach their total potential, that they will seek your wisdom and your strength in all of their endeavors, that their eyes will be focused on you so that they can receive every blessing that you have for them, that they will be filled with a desire to serve you and their fellow man, and finally, that nothing will separate them from your mercy and love. Amen.
On behalf of the senior class of 1989, as senior class president, I would like to welcome all of our families, friends, and guests to our commencement. Our presence today has a great deal to do with those who are involved in our lives. We may at times forget to say thank you to our parents and those who have nurtured us during our growing and maturing years. They have shaped our values and shown us the way to attain full potential. Our thanks should be extended to our parents more frequently. So to all of the parents out there, I say thank you from all of us. Throughout our daily lives, thoughts of love for you are deeply embedded in our hearts. Our lives have been enriched both culturally and morally. We have opened up to the world and owe much of our insight and knowledge to our teachers from preschool to this day. We take pride in the fact that for the second time, Upper St. Clair School District won the National Excellence in Education Award. The knowledge gained academically and socially will be a guiding light for all of us into the future. One of the most prime values we shall cherish with the deepest of feeling is the gift of friendship. The friends that we have formed through these years have made it easier to adjust to and appreciate life. We've experienced good times and bad times, both together and in solitude. I speak from the very bottom of my heart in stating that friendship is the most genuine asset obtained through high school. From the point where all of you sit today, we have not ended a career, but rather this is a stepping stone to an ultimate dream. Use the positive influence that you have taken in during your life from family, friends, and society to show the world the great success that you can all be. It has been mine and the other officers' great pleasure to serve and be members of such a close-knit, loving, and very determined class. We'd like to thank you all, the class of 1989, for such an incredible year. As a very wise person once said, if you can imagine it, you can dream it. If you can dream it, you can become it. Congratulations to all of you. With the best wishes of luck, health, and happiness, let's all go out there and do the best we can.
For several weeks now, each of us has been anticipating the excitement of graduation, while at the same time recognizing the sadness it brings us as we leave behind the experiences we have shared as a class. We must all make an attempt to view graduation as a positive experience, as a day of change. It is ironic that the only stable element in life is the inevitability of change, and that if we wish to develop to our highest potentials, we must rely on and have faith in the certainty of change. This philosophy is embodied by the words of Victorian essayist Thomas Carlyle. He writes, "Today is not yesterday. We ourselves change. How can our works and thoughts, if they are always to be the fittest, continue always the same? Change indeed is painful, yet ever needful, and if memory have its force and worth, so also has hope. As Carlyle wrote, today is not yesterday. We are changing. Some of us will be living away from home, and many will be attending college next year. We will be leaving behind the security of our families and working toward our own future independence. Others will be entering directly into the workforce and will be independent and self-supporting from the very start. No matter which route we take, we will no longer have the structure of a daily high school routine to look forward to anymore. The change we are undergoing today is one that will affect the rest of our lives. This change may be unsettling and sometimes even painful, but we can gain strength from the memories of our successes and be confident of the future. Our memories of the past 4 years will always be a reminder of the time we have spent together. We have developed new friendships and strengthened old ones. We have helped each other through bad times and have been there to celebrate the good ones. Each of us has also worked to attain the personal goals we have set, whether they be academic, athletic, or otherwise. As a class, we have experienced the first section championships for cross country and track and the whippeal victories of the football and boys soccer teams. We have also been a part of the successes of the choral, band, theater, and literary departments. Today is the day to reflect upon these successes to gain the support we need to endure the changes to come. We know that our memories will have their force and worth, therefore we can have hope for the future. Graduation is one of the most necessary changes we will make in our lives, for without it, we would be unable to reach our future educational, career, and family goals. We should not fear the changes that lie ahead of us. We must view them positively, for they will bring us opportunity and confidence. Therefore, welcome the changes that are yet to come, and welcome today as their beginning, for only through change will we grow to be the best we can be. I would like to extend to each member of the senior class of 1989 my deepest congratulations and hope for success in the future. Thank you.
There is no such thing as a free lunch. This saying is certainly true. Its meaning contains a simple, valuable lesson that applies to all of us, not only in academics, but in all facets of life. There's no free lunch means nothing is given to us for free. We will not be rewarded without commitment, sacrifice, and effort. Success in whatever field we choose will come through persistence, hard work, and an unyielding desire to achieve. Where there's a will, there's a way. If the will is strong enough, we'll find a way to succeed. Choices have to be made. We have to make our priorities. With all the demands on our time, we must decide what is truly important in our lives. Then we must act on our decisions. Good things don't automatically occur. We have to make them happen. And we will have to work hard because we don't get something for nothing. Success is earned, not given. The Army uses the slogan, "Be all you can be." I can't think of better advice. Help yourself, work with confidence, believe in yourself, and you will succeed. There will be no free lunch in the future either. The world has become increasingly competitive, as we have seen through the struggle to attend the college of our first choice. Problems will impede our progress. We might face obstacles we're not sure we want to confront. But we have all been there before. Finals have been taken, and papers have been completed when it seemed the work would never cease. We have accomplished things which we once thought were impossible. All graduating classes have the challenge to succeed in a world where nothing is as constant as change. There's no free lunch has a universal appeal. No other graduating classes have been given a free lunch. Ours is no exception. I would like to congratulate the class of 1989. We have accomplished a lot and have much to be proud of. With our graduation today, one part of our life is behind us. As we embark on our new challenges, the ball is now in our court. I wish you all happiness and success in whatever you do. Just remember, there's no such thing as a free lunch. Thank you.
I'm greatly honored to speak today as one of the valedictorians of the class of 1989, and I feel extremely fortunate to have attended the Upper St. Clair school system. I feel that this school offers us, as students, an excellent, rigorous academic program, as well as a positive atmosphere to spend our impressionable high school years. One unique and very beneficial aspect of the Upper St. Clair High School is the diversity of the students. Many European, Asian, and other minority students. Some of them here on exchange programs are warmly accepted. I believe that one of the benefits of this school is that the students provide a great amount of understanding and interest for these minority and exchange groups. Minority students? Who are they? In the Upper St. Clair school system, this distinction hardly exists, for all students are integrated into the student body. But even though this understanding exists, I believe that a greater effort should be made nationwide to educate ourselves about foreign cultures and languages. I believe that we, as citizens of America, cannot expect others to learn our culture and language if we make no effort to learn theirs. This message gets more crucial as the years pass, for rapid increases in technology are making our world seem smaller and smaller. It is essential that we be on equal footing with some of our more important trade partners, as recent studies have shown that we are not number one in all areas. For example, Japan is number one in technology. Many European countries surpass us educationally. We must make a greater effort, and we must begin in our elementary school systems by exposing our children to the different cultures and customs of our business partners, allies, and neighbors. I believe that the Upper St. Clair school system has instilled, through constant exposure, a foundation which will allow us to learn and understand different cultures. I know that the exposure and understanding fostered here will benefit us greatly as we enter the larger world. With this awareness, it is now our responsibility to act in such a way as to encourage the appreciation of our differences as well as our similarities. When we begin to perceive that differences are not disadvantages, but rather advantages, then that realization will be the cornerstone for a more cooperative world. As we proceed from high school to college, or our future careers, I would like to wish all of my fellow students, the class of 1989, good luck, and may you be successful in all of your endeavors. Thank you.
Well, here we are, high school graduation. But what happens after high school graduation? Then what? For most of us, that's college. But why college? For what purpose? Well, for many of us, it's to party. How about to begin job training? Whether it's as a teacher, a mechanic, or an accountant, college is still a job training course. Then again, how about 4 years of freedom to think, to learn, or to discover ourselves? Yeah, right. Alan Bloom from the University of Chicago, in The Closing of the American Mind, says that college is, and I quote, a space between the intellectual wasteland he has left behind and the inevitable dreary professional training that awaits him after the baccalaureate. The problem, as I see it, is that education, that is college education, is so specialized. There's so many departments, majors, minors, courses, graduate degrees, PhDs, etc., that one gets to know more and more about less and less, and finally knows everything about nothing. If you get a bachelor's degree in liberal arts and sciences, what can you do? Who will hire you, and for what job? Without a master's in thermonuclear physics or an MBA in international finance with a minor in Russian, will I be stuck selling hardware at a Kmart? We constantly read that American education is weak. SAT scores are dropping. Our parents are smarter than we are. The Europeans and Japanese are passing us by. Our own Upper St. Clair School Board debates lengthening the school year for our future students, even talks of almost no summer vacation. And what for? In one of the latest bestsellers of serious nonfiction, the University of Virginia's E.D. Hirsch says that many Americans are culturally illiterate, that they don't know how to communicate effectively in writing or, orally. He was not talking about us, the MTV generation. He was speaking of the young executives, teachers, and doctors who are now adults. He laughs at the USC Junior, that's University of Southern California, not Upper St. Clair, who thought Toronto was in Italy. I mean, we all know it's off the southern coast of Japan, come on. We need someone to blame for this failure in education. How about TV? Television's just about the intellectual equivalent of junk food. What about our parents? They didn't read to us enough when we were children. We can always blame our teachers. After all, they don't care about us. They're only in it for the money and long summers at the beach. Well, how about the system? After all, any system that has Michael Jackson or Madonna making $35 million a year has to be at fault somehow. Is it the solution to this problem? How do I know? I'm going to college and party for a few years. Then I'll get serious and major in business. I'll study hard for 2 years, get into a quality law school, get a good job, and rake in the bucks. I'll worry about real education, about learning who I am, about how to live an intellectual life, about how to be a useful citizen in a democracy. I'll worry about all that later.
The other day, my friend asked me a simple question. She said, if you could change anything about this past year, what would it be? At first thought, thousands of things jumped into my head that I would have changed. The test score on my last biology test, my grade in calculus, things like that. But as I started to think, I stopped. As I thought again, the ideas that I had quickly slipped out of my head until I was left with nothing to answer her question. When I look at the things I would have changed, I realize that perhaps they weren't so bad after all. True, this past year has given me both good and bad times, but I survived, and I think I'm a better person because of it. The bad times give me something to look back on and laugh at. Oftentimes, they brought me closer to my friends and strengthened my relationships. On the other hand, the good times, well, there were plenty of them. They helped to make my senior year more memorable. The good times made the bad ones more tolerable, and for the time being, we could overlook them. The good times also brought me closer to my friends. It's funny how we seem to cling tightest to each other when we're about to depart. This entire year has been about friendship. There's a special feeling among the members of a senior class that I don't think underclassmen can appreciate. It's a very delicate and fragile feeling. A special bond develops among the seniors that happens unconsciously and automatically. Underneath, we know we are leaving, so we do our best to stay together while we can. It's a difficult feeling to describe, but I know that most of the senior class knows what I am talking about because they have also experienced it. It's this bond of friendship and mutual understanding that ties us together and makes us, as a senior class, unique from any other class in the building. And to my friends who have always been there to support me through the bad times and laugh with me through the good, I want to sincerely thank you for being there and for understanding. Without you, this year would not have been as special as it was. I love you all. And I want to give my special thanks to Dr. Maggio and Mr. Bennett, two men who have helped me through the past 4 years, and especially the last one. They both have given me a shoulder to cry on and very good advice. Without these two people, I doubt I could have made it through my senior year with my sanity. There are two more people who have given me their undying support, love, and understanding. They have truly helped me to succeed and accomplish all that I was capable of. Without their support and encouragement, I would not be speaking to you today. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for all your love and your support and your helping. I couldn't have done it without you. And to my dad, a special thanks for being there when I needed you, and for being such a special and memorable prom date. I love you both very much. I wish all the members of the class of '89 the best in the future. May you all be successful in everything you do. Thank you.
Being the last person to speak, much of what I wanted to say has already been said. I just want to say that it's been a great 4 years, and I want to thank my parents, all my friends, my teachers, and my fellow classmates. And I want to congratulate the class of 1989 and wish them the best of luck. I was told to leave some sort of awe-inspiring message, but I'll just say that it's really important to be yourself. I know it sounds very simple, being yourself, but for a lot of people, it's a difficult thing to do. Being yourself is doing what you feel is right and not worrying about what others think. When you find something that you enjoy and that makes you happy, that's all that's important. Just because others might not think it's smart, cool, or financially sound, doesn't mean that your wishes or dreams are without merit. Columbus would not have discovered America without doing what he believed in. When you find a cause or an idea to believe in, stand up for it and don't back down just because you're in the minority or because your friends disagree with you. I know a lot of you are facing big decisions now and in the future, like what to major in, what kind of job to get, whether or not to get married, and a lot of other questions. People are going to be giving you all types of advice. Parents will be pulling you one way and your friends another. Only you can make these decisions, and you have to decide what's best for you. What will be the best path for you to take, even if it's not the same as what everyone else thinks. Life is what you make it, and you have to decide yourself what it is you want out of life. And go for it. Set your goals and stick with them, because whatever you decide to do will be right for you. I have a lot of confidence in my class and have seen them grow during the last 4 years. They are a class of individuals, and each has something special that they excel at, whether it's academics, sports, theater, or anything else. To the class of 1989, I want to wish you all the happiness in the world and the success that you deserve. Thank you.
This concludes the 10th year of Dr. Christiana's superintendency here at Upper St. Clair. I'd like to publicly thank him for the cooperation, support, confidence that he has shown to us at the high school during this time. 2 incidences, 2 programs, 2 aspects of his tenure stand out in my mind. They are in 1979, 1980, the beginning of his tenure. He was most helpful, most instrumental in bringing about the changes that most of the community wanted at that particular time. Something that he started and is still with us now. I think most of us parents appreciate his guidance and direction in the area of chemical use and abuse in helping our youngsters. So I'm also pleased to thank him as a parent. The class of 1989 led us in a banner year this year at Upper St. Clair High School. I mean that literally and figuratively. Literally, because we've added new banners to our wall in the gymnasium. We put up a lot of 88s and a lot of 89s on the banners that exist. Those accomplishments, athletically, of course, are diminished by their academic success. It was no small feat or accomplishment of the class of '89 that we were able, again, to be the second school in the state of Pennsylvania to receive the National Education and Excellence Award. Obviously, this class has contributed the most. They have been here the longest. Congratulations to the class of '89. I'd like you to know that they have provided leadership in our high school. Most of you parents are aware of that. This is a very positive class. It's a class full of ability, full of individuals who make wise, discriminate choices, and is a class of which we can all be proud. They have helped bring our community state and national recognition. They have helped increase our property values. Dr. Christiana, please be advised that the seniors assembled before you have satisfied the requirements as identified by the local Board of School Directors of the Upper St. Clair Township School District. In addition, this is the first class that we've had going through our Commonwealth schools this year who have now completed the new curriculum recommendations and regulations that the State Education Department promulgated 4 years ago. They have satisfied those requirements also. Dr. Christiana, please be advised that I am both honored and proud to present to you the 1989 graduating class of the Upper St. Clair High School.
Thank you, Dr. Hoffman. I appreciate very much those very kind words about my tenure as a superintendent. No one does it alone. The successes I've had as superintendent are a result of the fine young people we see in front of us today, all of the staff, the board, but most a community that is dedicated to excellence in education and is willing to provide the resources to make that happen. You all have made my tenure in Upper St. Clair a very exciting and rewarding experience, and I thank you. My message this afternoon is about loving your neighbor as you'd like your neighbor to love you. Thoughts about presenting this last class to the board started some months ago, the class of 1989. My thoughts initially went to 1979, and I knew where I was, and I think I knew where some of you were. It was either third grade, if you were doing all right. It might have been second grade if you weren't doing all right, and maybe fourth grade if you were really running ahead of the pack. Then it dawned on me that that's not quite right either, because a large number of you were not in Upper St. Clair in 1979. Some of you were in other parts of this country. Some of you were being educated in Japan or Taiwan or the People's Republic of China or in Germany or France. But you're all here today, and that says something about the United States of America. Then my thoughts went to another graduation some 45 years ago, in June of 1944, when this old man was graduating from high school. Times have changed a great deal. At that time, I had already joined the Army Air Force. I had dedicated myself to dying for my country. I wasn't the only one. The majority of the young men who were in my graduating class joined the armed forces. We joined to preserve what we felt and believed was inherent in the goodness of this country. And that was our primary objective of the class of 1944. Forces were at work in Germany and Japan that threatened our country, threatened our very existence, and threatened the world. There was no question we would take the risk to preserve our way of life for the generations to come. And because of that, we're honoring you here today. Many thousands were killed in that war. Some of your grandparents, uncles. As you've looked through family photograph albums, your parents or grandparents may have pointed out to someone, a distant cousin, who was killed in that war. They gave their lives so that we could be here today to celebrate your graduation. My direction was very clear in 1944. We had a war to win, and that was very clear, precise, and directive. Today, for each of you, the direction may not be that clear or that well defined, as we've heard from our valedictorians. It was well defined in 1944. However, the survival of the United States of America and our way of life is as much in your hands today as it was for those who graduated with me 45 years ago. In 1989, you have the opportunity to preserve our way of life by helping to save the lives as opposed to wars and the destruction of life. How you do this? Not how you may do it, because I have confidence that you will do it. You will develop many breakthroughs in medicine. They'll extend the lives of generations yet to come. You will make the world free of cancer, as we've made the world in the last 45 years free of polio. You will find a way to prevent starvation in the world and in America. You will find homes for the homeless. You will find ways to save the environment. You will find a way to raise the ethical standards of our people. You will find a way for the world to be at peace. Love was used earlier in one of the presentations. And the essence of all that I've talked about is love. Love your neighbor as you would have or like him to love you. To love your neighbor is what you learn from war. To love your neighbor or your enemy is what you learn from war. As you respond to those you have defeated in war, when you look the enemy in the eye, you know you have much in common. Look at Germany and Japan today as examples of America being a forgiving and caring nation. President Bush has dedicated his presidency to our becoming a more gentle and kinder society. Forgiveness, kindness, and caring are all part of love. Love has brought us together today on this beautiful afternoon to celebrate, and in its own way, it has made all of us together a part of eternity. Love has many meanings described throughout history, the history of our civilization. Aristophanes said it this way: love is desire and pursuit of the whole. Vincent van Gogh said it this way: love is eternal. The aspect may change, but not the essence. Benjamin Disraeli, a great English statesman, said it this way: we are all born to live. It is the principle of existence, we are all born to love. It is the principle of existence and its only end. One that some of us older people can relate to a little better comes from James Thoreau. A lady of 47 who's been married 27 years and has 6 children knows what love really is and once described it to me like this: love is what you've been through with somebody. And finally, going back 2,000 years, a very solid definition of love that I share with you and hope that you take it with you. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or conceited or proud. Love is not ill-mannered or selfish or irritable. Love does not keep a record of wrongs. Love is not happy with evil, but is happy with the truth. Love never gives up. Its faith, hope, and patience never fail. For me this afternoon, it's sort of the end. For you, it's a new beginning. But as I said other times, today is the first day of the rest of your life. And for me, it's a new beginning because it's the first day of the rest of my life. I leave that message with you. And now it's my pleasure to certify to the Upper St. Clair Board of School Directors that you have completed all of the requirements required by the Upper St. Clair Board of School Directors and all of the requirements required by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Mrs. Barbara Bolas, the President of our school board, I present this class to you.
Good afternoon, distinguished colleagues, parents, guests, and soon-to-be graduates of Upper St. Clair High School. It is a special honor to address the class of 1989. When you were beginning your formal education in kindergarten, our family moved into our home here in Upper St. Clair. I feel we have grown together as you have developed into young men and women, while our school district has developed into one of the finest in the nation. Over 25 years ago, the people of Upper St. Clair made the dream of this high school a reality. This year, another dream was realized as the high school won its second National Excellence in Education Award in 5 years, the only high school in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to be able to claim such an accomplishment. That should be significant to you as graduates, because most of you had a part in making the achievement of these awards possible. I would like each and every one of you to carry on this tradition of excellence as you begin a new chapter in your lives. How do you define excellence for yourself? For me, it is giving that extra effort to accomplish a worthwhile goal, to be the best that I can be, and in doing what I know is right, even though it may be difficult for me personally. Doing the right thing involves ethics. You have approached the time in your lives when your ethical values will be put to their hardest test. Today, ethics in government, business, and private lives is beginning to test people and societies on an international level. How will your generation pass the exam? Will you meet the challenge of ethical excellence? Over a week ago, I watched as you celebrated the announcement of the Excellence in Education Award. You had a picnic in the cafeteria, a dance in the old gym, and released balloons outside. It was a very happy and joyful time for everyone. It reminded me of another group of high school students that was gathered near our apartment in Venezuela in the early 1970s. It was election time in that young democratic country, and the students were marching down the street demonstrating for an opposition candidate. Their mood was jovial, and you could tell that even though the issues were important to them, they were enjoying the time they were spending together, just as you were in your celebration. It was such a terrible shock for me to see the troops of the Guardia Nacional arrive, proceed to use their clubs to violently and physically force the students into their military vans and take them away. More recently, we have seen similar actions against students in Korea and China. We are fortunate in this country that we have real freedom and the necessary laws that protect us from such repression. Can we be confident that our country will be able to maintain our freedoms in the future? Can we take our personal freedoms for granted? You will be the leaders of tomorrow. Some of you will eventually go on to implement or change laws, and hopefully all of you will take an active part in our representative form of democracy and cast informed votes for people who will properly represent you and maintain the laws which will keep our society and our nation strong and free. A tradition of excellence, ethical conduct, maintaining our freedoms. It is a very tall order to fill. However, each of you has a responsibility to become the best that you can be, and in so doing, influence those around you to be the best that they can be. Congratulations, class of 1989. Good luck to you, and may God bless you and keep you in His care as you face the many challenges of life. Thank you.
Merrill Aaron Rothus, President of the Class of 1989.
Sarah Evans Shortridge, Vice President of the Class of 1989.
Amy Michelle Buck, Secretary of the Class of 1989.
J. Christopher Shields, Treasurer of the Class of 1989.
Mary Beth McCarrick, President of Student Council.
Lauren Ross Bailey, Valedictorian.
Douglas Hall Descalzi, valedictorian.
Gregory James Kroc, valedictorian.
Savitha Krishnan, valedictorian.
Krista Lynn Prescott, valedictorian.
Tara Jean Miner, valedictorian.
Richard Anthony Lang.
Denise Michelle Aiello.
Linda Norma Lagatuda.
Cheryl Andrea Akins.
David Bentley Lands.
Wendy Lynn Anderson.
Jason Paul LaRosa.
James Scott Aston.
Marianne Catherine Laska.
Michael Lawrence Aberbaugh.
David William Ladano.
Tracy Lee Babbitt.
Robert David Lauer.
Lisa Marie Balzerini.
Anne Marie Lauterbach.
Adam John Bartlemay.
Anna Jean Lee.
Joseph Michael Bass.
Dana Danelle Little.
Eric Albert Baumgartner.
Kelly Esther Littman.
Tiffany Marie Beatty.
Ryan Matthew Littman.
Anthony Grosso Bellini.
Christine Marie Long.
Coleman Joseph Benedict.
Stephanie Noel Lucas.
John Allen Binkelman.
John F. Lucy.
Gerald Lino Bertiotti.
Heather Lynn Michelle.
Sean Eric Biggert.
Elizabeth Ellen Mann.
Michael David Birnbaum.
Gerard Joseph Matthew Mann.
Scott Thomas Bishop.
Lisa Lynn Mann.
Melissa Ann Blum.
David Paul Mayvold.
Jennifer Francesca Bolton.
Jill Denise Malecki.
Erica Wendy Bonadio.
Michael Gregory Manning.
Kathleen Mary Bond.
Arun Manaharan.
Arna Andreas Brown.
James Clifton Mansfield.
Kimberly Ann Bright.
Kristen Lee Marsh.
James Brooks Broadhurst.
Thomas Carlton Martin.
Allison Fox Brown.
Jeffrey Michael Mascaro.
Richard Warren Brown.
Susan Elizabeth Masline.
Carolyn Megan Burgoyne.
Brian Matthews.
Susan Elizabeth Burke.
Friedrich G. Mayer Jr.
Matthew Burns.
Scott Christopher McAllister.
Jennifer Lynn Bush.
David Bruce McClintock, Vice President of Student Council.
Julie Michelle Bird.
Catherine Elfrida McCowan.
Melissa Beth Cagney.
Erin Elizabeth McCoy.
Stephen Emery Campbell.
Kevin Eric McKinney.
Anthony Matthew Caparelli.
Merida Teresa McLaughlin.
Matthew Paul Carabetta.
Sheila Elizabeth McLaughlin.
Christian Nicholas Cardello.
Elizabeth Michelle McMahon.
Michael Patrick Carr.
Patrick James Meehan.
Brian Thomas Carrier.
J. Andrew Mahler.
Louis Allen Casanova.
Laura Lynn Montag.
Thomas Anthony Castelli.
Melissa Lynn Moran.
John William Chappis II.
Sherry Lynn Morris.
Douglas Barrett Childs.
Kristen Ann Murray.
Mimi Cho.
Kimberly Ann Mullaney.
Lynn Ann Ciparella.
Marcel Peter Newray.
Mitchell Stephen Clearfield.
Douglas David Newstead.
Kelly Lynn Clandaniel.
Amy Marguerite Norton.
David Matthew Coe.
Evelyn Jean O'Brien.
Amy Colleen Coffey.
Carrie Ann O'Connor.
Cynthia Ann Conti.
Tracy Ann Olschlager.
Drew Wesley Cook.
Erica Lynn Osterman.
Elizabeth Ann Cope.
Julie Lynn Owens.
Catherine Alyssa Coppage.
Martin Andrew Owens.
Ronald J. Cortez.
James Samuel Page.
David Maurice Courtney.
Stacy Marie Palmer.
Michael John Craig.
Jason Earl Parker.
Lee Brandon Crane.
Matthew Edward Parrish.
Brian Alex Cullen.
Mark Lamont Pelusi.
David Thomas Cunningham.
Michael David Pennico.
John Allen Silk.
Catherine Mary Peters.
David Andrew Daly.
Michael William Peters Jr.
Greg E. D'Alessandro.
Fabian Till Petchke.
Michelle Marie de Blasio.
Glenn Christopher Pfeffer.
A. Allen Demetrius. Manesh Sunil Desai.
Christopher Aiken Phillips IV.
Kirk Allen Digby.
Thomas Stephen Phillips.
Catherine Tiffany DiGiacinto.
Megan Lee Pillion.
Charles Robert Dingle.
John Michael Perrine.
Dennis Daniel Donahue.
Kelly Ann Pitcairn.
Delphine Claudie Doyer.
Tricia Ann Pitcock.
Jeffrey Edward Dubdot.
Bonita Lynn Pitzer.
Shelley Dawn Drake.
Janice Marie Podobnik.
Wendy Joyce Streeland.
Daniel Scott Poe.
Jennifer Ann Dreer.
Christopher Eric Potter.
Michael Cyril Driscoll.
Allison Elizabeth Rafferty.
Danielle Jean Dubois.
Robert Carl Ralston.
Jill Aaron Dugan.
Shailash Rao.
Eric William Dunn.
Christopher Keith Ray.
Robert Michael Anarino Jr.
Kendra Ann Raymond.
Jody Lynn Eber.
Julie Marjorie Ray, Executive Officer of Student Council.
James Clement English.
Andrea Lee Rees.
Corrine Erard.
Kelly Ann Richardson.
Richard Stanley Evans.
Catherine Elizabeth Roberts.
Scott Anthony Fazio.
Kelly Ann Roberts.
Ann Y. Feng.
Carol Louise Rockenstein.
Carrie Robin Fenster.
Christine Renee Rossetti.
Jennifer Rebecca Farang.
Douglas William Roth.
Patricia Jean Ferry.
Timothy James Ruff.
Paul Nathan Fink.
Bridget D. Rupert.
Susan Elise Fisher.
Amy Beth Rushing.
Sherry Lynn Fleck.
Shelley Marie Ruzilko.
Greg William Forbaugh.
Stacy Louise Sander.
Amy Leona Forrest.
Naoko Sasaki.
Michael Edwin Fort.
Stacy Jean Chardong.
Jennifer Margaret Fox.
Gary Kenyon Schick.
Scott Charles Frame.
Christine Ann Schmelzer.
Kathleen Mary Friend.
Suzanne Jean Shook.
Melissa Lee Fuller.
Amy Lynn Sheets.
Jamie Vince Gaglia.
Stuart Michael Schuler.
Paula Suzanne Ganassi.
Brian James Scott.
Tracy Lynn Gearing.
John Benton Scott.
Todd Christopher Gensler.
Timothy Joseph Sepsi.
Kristen Louise Gentili, Executive Officer of Student Council.
Noreen Lynn Shaw.
Peter Eric Galamus.
William Summers Shaw IV.
Thomas Robert Gillingham.
Sharon K. Shin.
Laura Christine Glenn.
David Stewart Schumann.
Terry Marie Goldstein.
John Stephen Siska.
Jeffrey Herschel Gorin.
Renee Marie Siders.
Amy Lynn Graham.
Leslie Ann Smith.
Andrew Kenneth Gray.
Kristen Ruth Soldis.
Kelly Chapin Gresh.
Congratulations, Kelly.
Samantha Lee Stein.
John Andrew Haddix.
Ronald Robert Stasiak.
Catherine Marie Hagan.
Derek Thomas Stepetich.
Bradley Wilson Hamill.
Lori Marie Stewart.
Glenn William Hanson.
Carol Linda Sung.
Kimberly Lynn Harney.
Bina Suri.
Amy Beth Harrison.
Carolyn Sutherland.
Richard James Hartner.
Alessandra Margaret Sweeney.
Kazi Hashemi.
Stephen Matthew Syverson.
Kara Lucille Haspel.
Gregory Thomas Tata.
Jessica Ann Hecht.
Jennifer Lynn Talenti.
Sean Michael Heenan.
Philip John Tanner.
Michael Stephen Heiser.
Wissam Hisham Tarabishi.
Todd Howard Helmrich.
Kenneth Bushnell Tater.
David John Hilborn.
Brian Robert Turling.
James Donald Hockenberry.
Michael Philip Phelp.
John Robert Hobler.
Mari Ann Thomas.
John J. Hoffenagel.
Cheryl Lynn Thompson.
Russell Edward Koch Holmes.
Charles Edward Tidswell III.
Heather Lee Holsinger.
Christoph Michael Chung.
Lieselot Joanna Homan.
Jeffrey Lynn Treese.
Aaron David Horney.
Michael Dane Trescow.
James Burley Huber.
Brian Glenn Offelman, Executive
Christina-
Officer of Student Council.
Christina Louise Hebner.
Michelle Lee Underhill.
William C. Hetner.
John David Urban.
Brian Lewis Humphrey.
Teresa Marie Valentino.
Erin Christina Irwin.
Karen Marie Van Osdal.
Jason O'Brien Jackman.
Sandra Lynn Viviano.
Jennifer Lynn Jacobs.
Michael Robert Volpat.
Tammy Faith Jacobs.
Gregory Michael Buellin.
Dipti Janney.
Susan Jane Wadsworth.
Michelle Dawn Marie Jaquay.
Craig Richard Waldo.
Michelle Deanne Johnston.
John Jaquise Wallisher.
Mark Lawrence Jones.
Lorraine Ann Watson.
Marie Margaret Jocks.
Brian Kenneth Watterson.
William Calvin Kane.
Tyler Frederick Watton.
Diane Lynn Cassakert.
Amy Christine Weber.
James John Katsafanis.
Andrew Evan Weintraub.
Wendy Rachel Coffer.
David Chandler Wellington.
Jeremy Thomas Kaler.
Matthew Albert Worthington Weldy.
Grace C. Key.
Michael Anthony Werner.
Megan Ray Kiesling.
Michael James Wheeler Jr.
Key Mon Kim.
Brooke Elizabeth Whiting.
Kevin John Kopak.
Deborah Sue Williams.
Dana Lauren Kravitz.
Denise Ann Wilson.
Tina Lynn Krukar.
Carrie Ann Wolfe.
Luis Enrique Lacatour.
John Christian Walski.
Cynthia May Lamb.
William J. Woods.
Brian David Landis.
Daniel Abram Yogman. Nanette Zafiropoulos. Paul Frank Zay. Debbie Ann Zeller.
Congratulations to the graduated class of 1989.
Oh, God,
Don't please don't get into that amen, so